There are only a couple of events each year in the off-campus student housing industry that bring all of the industry leaders together. The National Multifamily Housing Council's annual Student Housing Conference is the longest-running conference for the industry. 2024 marks the 21st year for this conference and is being held October 7th through the 9th at the Aria Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the premier event for student housing professionals, bringing together leaders from all facets of the sector, including owners and operators, investors, lenders, and university partners. The conference features the industry's best and brightest minds all at one event, delivering the knowledge, tools, programs, and connections necessary for leaders to shape their future success and the future of our industry. So who are some of the folks attending this year's conference? Let's meet one of them right now. So Lance, I hear you're going to Vegas.
Yes, sir. It's my first time actually going to Vegas.
Well, that's a treat. We'll have to get into that a little bit. For those in our audience that have not ran into you're Lance with ATI Restoration. There may be a bunch of folks out here that have never heard of ATI Restoration. So I guess right off the start, let's just get that elevator pitch from you. What is it that you guys do, and how have you guys helped student housing operators?
Yeah, no, awesome. Great question. We're very similar to all the other restoration companies that everybody uses in this industry, in the multifamily industry, in the student housing industry. And we do a lot of the same services, the fire, the mold, the water restoration, the storm, the disaster. To differentiate the companies these days, it's got to be about the service. And then it's also got to be about the dollar, right? Because the dollar is such a big deal now, especially with insurance rates rising. But in a nutshell, that's what ATI does. We have 72 offices, across the country. We're in every state, every major city. And so our reach is there, and we get the same, approach and service to all of our clients across the country.
Well, perfect. Well, you guys are one of our sponsors for our Top Golf event. So I want to, thank you and ATI Restoration for being a big sponsor in that. But for, other stuff that you're looking to do while you're in Vegas, have you thought about it at all? Are you looking for anything specific to do, or you need some suggestions?
Yeah, I have no clue. I mean, I'm staying at the Aria. I'm going to try to make my way around and cling on to my clients and hopefully find some fun stuff to do. So I have no clue even where to start, honestly. So it would be a pretty big experience. I'm going to go a day early. I'm going to go a whole day early just so I can try to get myself situated and maybe get my all-nighter at the casino.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can't run out of things to do in Vegas, but just kind of walking up and down the strip and just kind of experiencing everything that's going on is certainly a lot of fun in and of itself, and pretty cheap entertainment. Something new that opened up last year is the Sphere, which is that big like half basketball looking thing that's sticking up out of the ground. There's not any concerts that's happening the 3 days that the conference is going on. It's a fantastic concert venue, but they do have a couple of movies playing, that are specifically filmed for the Sphere. And, but yeah, I mean, just walking, out there and getting a selfie with it, behind you, that's an experience in and of itself. But, I would say if there was one show that I would highly suggest, it's a Cirque du Soleil show. It's called Love. It's after the Beatles, basically. And that last year we were out there for this. I took my wife and my oldest daughter, who was a senior. We went to a couple of different shows, and but that one by far was our favorite. So I would, even if you're not a Beatles fan, it's actually a really good show.
No,
So
I
those would
appreciate
be my
that.
suggestions.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, I don't really know what to expect yet, honestly. One of my clients said that they're the luckiest person at the casino, so I plan on, tagging along with them and hopefully winning some money, if I have a chance. But no, I did read about that Sphere, and also the Beatles. I like the Beatles, so I enjoy their music. I'd love to see something like that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, quick question about the services that you guys do. Obviously, all the restoration stuff. I'm just kind of curious, since you guys work with so many student housing operators. Do you guys help out at all with any like turn, typical turn vendor stuff in the summer, or is it just restoration services?
So that's a really good question. That actually is a newer service that we're starting to provide. We've been more of the bailout company for their turn because turn is so chaotic, and there, a lot of the properties they're hiring 4 or 5 different vendors, right, to turn one property, and there's sort of 4 or 5 different invoices and owners and supervisors that are with those companies. So it gets very hard for them. Then they move on to the next thing, or they don't want to come back. I've seen a
Yeah,
lot where people are in the middle of rehabs and trying to turn. So Auburn, a good example. We just did that one for them right before August. They wanted it done by August 12th, and the vendors they had on there were way behind schedule. So we sent a 20-man crew to do flooring and baseboard and drywall at an hourly rate for them, and saved them, and was able to have all the students be able to move in on time, which is crucial, right? And so we started to do that. That's my point. We're starting to do that. We're not. It's not planned turn yet for us. We're not. That's what I did tell all the clients that, hey, look, you want to start doing some turn with you, or even part of the turn, or being available. Let's schedule it out and plan it out, 6 months in advance, so that way they're not scrambling for bids, a month before turn. We can try to be
yeah,
more available.
yeah. No, no, that's fantastic. I mean, that's I know some folks who've had to go that route, just like you mentioned in Auburn, and so yeah, I think that would be something a lot of especially the operators that are attending this conference would probably like to talk to you about. So
Oh well, I'm sorry. I was just going to mention one more thing that's new too. Is that with that being said, I have a few different properties, one in College Station, one in two in Austin, that where they had actually, because of what we did in Auburn, and they were like, "Hey man, can my maintenance team is really behind on our tickets. It's really hard for them to catch up. What can you do?" Same thing. I sent them 3 contractors that are our guys that do flooring and drywall patches and repairs, small repairs, and they're just paying them by the hour for the day, and they manage the guys and stuff. But it basically gives their maintenance team, a 3-man army to go behind them and help them get caught up on their tickets and get their property functioning smoothly, so they don't keep falling behind. So that's also something new that I'm starting to dabble in a little bit. That's been really good for the clients. That I feel like a lot of people just chase the water restoration or the insurance claim or the big tickets, and I want all the small stuff too. I mean, I think being of service and being the only call that they have made, is value, right? So that's
yeah,
what I throw
yeah.
out there.
Well, and, I hate even thinking about insurance claims, but with what's happening in the insurance world right now, and how high those rates are going up. You and I have had a couple of offline conversations where there's a lot that you guys can do to kind of help the owner navigate through that. So that's a huge thing as well. It's going to be important for these owners to have you in their Rolodex, because when something like that comes up, or if you're trying to mitigate it, before there's actual risks there, you guys have got some great tools for them to, or great services for them to utilize for that. So that's a conversation I know folks are going to have. Um, hey, I appreciate the time. I appreciate obviously you guys sponsoring the Top Golf event. So if you're an owner or operator, we're hosting this for you guys. And if you haven't received an invite from me, my email will be in the show notes, and just shoot me a quick request and we'll make sure that you get that. Lance, I appreciate it. We're going to put your contact information and everything in the show notes as well. So if people want to make an appointment with you while they're in Vegas, or before they get out to Vegas, they can do that. Anything else for our audience?
That's it. I mean, the last thing I'll say is, I'm a relationship based. It's not just the company or the brand. I'm your biggest advocate. We want to continue to grow and make a difference in the industry, and not just be the typical, hey, we're here to sell our services like the other companies. So, I appreciate the opportunity as well. Thanks for having me on this show, and I look forward to many more.
All right. We'll see you in Vegas.
Thank you. See you there.